I'm Lynn.
And I'm Leo. Welcome back to Yoga with Lynn and Leo.
Yes, and hopefully you're on your mat ready for our tutorial today. So Padangusthasana and Padahastasana. So Leo's going to come into the action just to show you the pose. So some of you who are not familiar with this action, then you'll be able to see that Leo comes down. She reaches her big toes with the 2 fingers and thumbs. And then the arms go out broad and the body extends into this action. And then we come into Padahastasana. So the palms go under the feet for this pose. So if that hasn't frightened you off, then do stay with us to come through some of the finer detail in these poses. And of course with Padahastasana you still bend the elbows out and you bring the body down. Okay, so if you're not familiar...
As much as you can.
As much as you can. Okay. So the problem lies here when it's difficult to reach the feet. And when it's difficult to reach the big toes, then if it's not too far out, then you take the feet wider, even wider, right to the outer edges, or even if you're on the center of the mat, it may be that you have to take the legs very wide to get this action, because this will bring the floor level a little bit higher to here. Okay, so if we've got some of you out there with very tight hamstrings, this is normal. But of course our advice to everybody is to be consistent in your practice and your hamstrings will get longer through time.
So have a look at our beginners series, have a look at the 30 days of yoga, get a consistent daily practice going, and over time the hamstrings will allow you to do some of these deeper forward bending actions that we're showing in this particular series.
Yes, indeed. So we start with the feet hip width apart. And one of the difficulties is when you start to evolve in the action and come into the classic pose. So from here, some of you may have seen our instruction on Uttanasana. It's very important for this pose. See that your hands are on the pelvic rims and you lift up so strongly and roll the shoulders back and down. Now, when this area is not working, when the upper chest area is not working in a forward bend, you will lose the energy of the action and the whole of this will collapse in this position. So you can see here how important the posture becomes. So preparational stage is really working so strongly with these actions, so strongly with the lift out of the pelvis. And then hinging forward with this open chest action. So come in halfway only, don't go any further than that. Take your hands underneath your shoulders to start with, be there. And again, try to establish that concave action, concave chest, opening that action, opening in the back body, and keeping this action. Keeping the energy of the sternum bone extending towards the end of the mat. And from this position, you reach back with your hands to catch your feet. And then you come back to this position. So as soon as you catch the big toes with the first 2 fingers and thumbs, we don't go back into the full action. This is when you can work in the pose. This is when you can create the length through the center of the body, the lift in the abdomen, the extension through the chest, keeping all of that very dynamic, the energy becoming fluid along the spine. Keeping this action now, without dropping again, I want you to just soften the elbows out to the side. Now, as you soften the elbows, there will be a temptation here for some of you to just drop that spine towards your thighs. No. Okay, so keeping that action, just soften the elbows. Now, what I want you to do more than anything else is lift through those front thighs, lift through the abdomen. This is the action of the pose. This is going to help you to extend even higher through the front legs, even more through the abdomen. And then see if you can grow those elbows out to the side. Grow those elbows out to the side and see how far you can get with the action. Still keep the opening in the sternum plate, the sternum chest as you come into the action. And then once you come to your edge, to your maximum, please do not push any further. Just let the head release and be in your pose. So in this stage, we're going to just breathe for a couple of moments, soft inhalation and exhalation. So this is a very dynamic way to improve your forward bend actions. Padangusthasana. Now we come for Padahastasana. Goodness me, this is another strong action. So from this position, you keep all of these dynamic actions, including the concave action of the chest, the hands underneath your shoulders, keeping that action, the legs absolutely straight, the legs pulling up, thighs working. Now take your palms underneath your feet. So again, we're increasing the intensity with this action. And you've got to get all of those actions with your hands underneath the feet. So press down into your palms, but lift up with your chest. So now the space is less. And that's what makes it very, very challenging. So any amount, lifting your chest, however you can, just be there. Soften your elbows, but keep this extension through your back, through your spine, keeping that extension, looking forward. So you may find that this is very challenging to keep this area. It's a tough subtlety of Padahastasana. And then slowly come into your action, just letting the head release down eventually. So this is Padahastasana, and the more you bring your body into the fold, the more you have to lift up through those front legs, through those thighs, through those body groins, through the abdomen. And just take a few breaths in this action. And then slowly releasing, taking your hands in front so they're underneath the shoulders. Lift your abdomen, legs as you come up into a standing position. So that was our tutorial on Padangusthasana, Padahastasana.
And as with all the forward bends, if you find them difficult, go back to looking at our beginner series. Start getting a daily practice in, and eventually your hamstrings will lengthen. The more standing poses you do, the better, really.
Yeah, it's consistency, as we say again. And if you do like our videos, then please do subscribe or like our channel.
Thank you for joining us today. Namaste.
Namaste.